Hello, everybody. Welcome to the inventory. I'm your host, Detective Johan, and with me today, I have my usual co-host, Spnanon. Why don't you say hi?
Hello.
And we've got two returning guests. You guys introduce yourselves in whatever order you want.
Well, I'll go first. I'm Pharos. Third time's the charm, baby.
And I am Pivotal Cog, a mod and creator of several characters.
Speaking of characters you've created, that's actually the very first thing in the character updates since last time. Coco Adele from the animated web series Ruby has entered the main game.
That's right.
Okay.
American anime.
Yeah, that's my favorite, besides Cory in the House.
So why don't you guys talk about what you about Coco?
I'll save my thoughts for last since I'm the one who made her, so go ahead.
Alright. I'll save my thoughts for second to last since I'm the host.
I haven't watched Ruby, and Coco looks really cool, but I haven't played with her, because she's never popped up on the targets my characters a lot thing. Like when you go to play the game, it has the recommended characters, so that's what usually gets me to try new characters, actually.
Alright, Stan, what about you?
Well, apparently she was completely made up for Spnaati because she has like 2 minutes of screen time.
Pretty much.
But I like what I see.
Based on the, I only really remember her personality from the end of season 3 of Ruby, and so I think that how you and NMAS handled it, you obviously had to, I guess a lot on how she would act, since she doesn't really have a lot, but I think that she's a pretty good character. I like her model. She's the only Ruby girl to make it through sponsorship, which is a feat in and of itself at this point.
That's a bit of a fresh wound in light of recent events.
Well, it is true that there's so many Ruby characters that at this point it does okay, what does this character do to earn their place on the roster against all the other Ruby characters?
I've heard a lot of good things about Coco. Well, and hearing that she's only got like 2 minutes of screen time is actually making me want to play against her, because there isn't a lot of stuff I need to know. It's just she's a character from Ruby. She appeared a couple times, maybe.
She has a gun, a minigun from her suitcase.
Well, damn. Then I guess I know what I'm doing after this.
Her theme song is literally called Caffeine. She's very coffee related. So, Cog, why don't you go on about Coco?
Johan, you just keep cutting in and out for me.
Heck. Is that for everybody?
I don't know, I can hear him fine, I think.
Yeah, he's fine for me too.
Son of a bitch.
So, Cog, why don't you...
My fucking internet is all over the place. I'm gonna get distorted again like last time.
Well, you sound perfectly fine right now.
Yeah, sound fine to us too.
It's hard to keep track when everyone just keeps getting cut off.
I'll just type that. Then... So, Cog, why don't you talk about the development process behind Coco?
So yeah, when we were first planning her, me and the mask were looking for a character to work on together because we really wanted to work together, but we didn't really know each other's taste that well. So eventually we started brainstorming, and eventually we settled on Coco because we both like Ruby and we think she'd both be a great fit for the game. The thing is, she has about 10 minutes screen time throughout the entire series. She has 2 main fights, and that's pretty much all her screen time. So we had to extrapolate a lot of her personality just from what we could get out of those 10 minutes. And so we divided the labor, and I did the target lines, and the mask did the generic lines, and I think overall we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I'd agree on that. All right. Anybody else have anything to say then?
I like my Coco like I like my women.
She kind of reminds me of like a smarter Revy, I want to say. Just like always starting shit with people.
Oh,
That's pretty much it.
well, now I have to play her.
Which really pisses Revy off.
You versus the girl she tells you not to worry about.
Interaction soon, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We've already got Revy throwing down with Maya. When do we have the first ever inventory shootout? Then it can truly be the American episode of this podcast.
All the other kids with the pumped up kicks.
I could have Revy and Maya point guns at each other. But, that seems a little intense for beginning of a porn game when they still have their guns.
Revy
The real
is a
question
very
is, where are we
intense-
getting Infinity
I figured,
Update?
naked fist fight is hotter.
I mean, it's probably an epilogue idea, Just couple
Yeah,
chicks,
if I
couple
can
guns.
if I can stuff it into the 11 megabyte limit now.
Yes, that did actually go live today, so now everybody has to work with 11 megabytes.
Now, when you say today, do you mean the day of recording or the day this goes up?
The day of recording. So,
Oh dear.
yep, you had all of January, and that's enough time, so it's now officially live.
Happy February.
The shackles have been bound.
The chains are on.
At the same time, I don't really think that it'll be too hard to keep it under 11 megabytes, especially with the new pose engine coming up.
Well, I gotta like change all my old epilogues so they're smaller
yeah.
with the new engine.
Well, they should look better with it too, right? Like, I'm just imagining.
Well, the animation would be smoother.
Oh, jeez. I'm just thinking, like, there's a couple epilogues out there that are, like, really great. And if they were just, like, a little less chunky and blurry, oof, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
probably be going around to updating the Chiaki and Rinka updates or epilogues at some point.
Yeah, that's actually the exact one I was thinking about, the Rinka epilogue. Because it's just fantastic.
Heroes will be a big
Shameless-
update
shameless-
just because of how many characters are in it.
Oh yeah.
What were you saying?
I was talking about Mahiru's update and how it would be a pain to update because of just how many characters are in it, technically.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep. I still have those save files, luckily.
Oh, nice. Better luck than some, hey?
Yeah.
That's the hard part about
Right.
like doing model updates. Is that like if they appear in some other character's pose, you have to coordinate with them to fix it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
If I remember correctly, Marinette still uses the old Amalia model in her epilogue.
Oh, no.
The old Blake too.
Yikes. Anyway, next character to be sponsored was, I believe this just happened today, was Rarity from My Little Pony. Okay.
Oh
why
yeah,
don't
the
you guys-
version where she's a girl and not a pony.
Okay, yes, then I guess from Equestria Girls.
Just to clear all bases there.
Yep.
So, why don't you guys say what your thoughts on her are?
She's a little rough around the edges. Mostly with like grammar and like typos and stuff. Could definitely use another pass over there.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see a character that comes out with a nice must-target stripping sequence. It definitely helps.
That's easy for you to say.
developers.
You don't write any lines.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is like it's really for some developers it's like a mixed blessing because it helps them pad out their characters a little more, but it's like artificial padding because it only plays with this one character, right? And you gotta have all these lines specifically for it.
Yeah, like it was kind of cool when Amy did it, and like I can forgive Rarity a little bit because her gimmick is like she changes her entire outfit every round. Okay, well at least that kind of has something to do with clothes, so it makes sense. I mean, some gimmicks are just completely stupid and like unnecessary and a pain to target.
You
At
don't
least
need
hers
to
like kind of makes sense.
wheel every time.
Yeah, like really, like it gets old fast. Like just have them take off their clothes, and that's it's a lot more versatile.
Reminds me of the old weapon masturbation thing. I remember when that was like a fancy thing to do, just stick the tip of a sword in there or something. Grind on an assault rifle.
It's a very lazy way of making your character quote unquote unique, rather than just give them a personality.
Yeah, it kind of looks that kind of stuff. It looked awkward, and it was neat to have like people reacting to it and for it to happen, but like it really just didn't. I don't know the novelty, I guess. Like
Yeah, it's like it's just that scene from The Incredibles when everybody's a superhero, nobody will be.
It's like just imagine you got a gift and it was a great present, and then you got that same present every day. Now you got like 500 iPods and you can't sell them.
Anyway, Cog, what are your thoughts on Rarity?
I never really played her much since I'm not that big a fan of the My Little Pony characters, but she has an interesting gimmick, and I was rooting for her to get sponsored, admittedly. But yeah, she's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, I used to be really into that series. And of the mains... Huh?
I was not.
Okay, well, this was many moons ago.
Don't worry, I was too, so...
I think it was...
Moon is a dirty word here.
I think it was like in middle school. I watched a ton of it. Of the main
the Equestria
six...
Girls version?
Oh yeah, I watched Equestria Girls, the movie, the first two.
I didn't watch Equestria Girls, I just watched the original series.
I think that, I fell out around, I don't know, in one of the later seasons. It's still going somehow. Anyway.
Wasn't there a Rick and Morty reference in it last year?
I haven't...
Oh god.
I haven't watched it.
Morty pony in the
watched it since, the end of middle school. But anyway, of the main six, in the actual series, Rarity was probably my least favorite, so, yeah, she's not my hype. She does bring something unique to this game. Whether or not you see that as good or bad is completely subjective, from both a development standpoint and from the standpoint of a casual player. But I do think that she definitely brings something to the game that wasn't there before.
A fashion designer, I think. That's a pretty good niche for a game that's all about clothes.
Yep.
Gives her something to talk about with the many different random accessories.
Just imagine if Vriska got an update.
I really hope that I really hope people in my building don't hear this and think I'm on some kind of My Little Pony podcast.
Just wait till the questions and then they'll really start to think that.
I mean, a porno, that's much less embarrassing.
Somehow, yeah. Let's see here. The next character to get sponsored was Chiaki. She got a complete image update done by yours truly. So, why don't you guys praise me, stroke my ego, tell me why I'm an amazing person?
Can I be honest? I don't play Chiaki all that much. When I made the recent ACO thread on 4chan, I picked Chiaki because I thought she had already gotten her image update.
Oh man! Yeah.
So now she's like one of the example girls in the first few posts, but it's the old artwork.
Span doesn't like me or my characters, confirmed.
No, I think Chiaki's cute. I think actually Chiaki might be your cutest girl, unless you count Amalia.
Well, I gotta say, I haven't played Chiaki since she came out, because admittedly, she's not one of my favorite Danganronpa girls. But I've seen what you have.
She's just a little too flat for my tastes.
Well, that's one of my problems, but not flat like, she's got junk in her trunk. But like for her character, I think Johan did a good characterization of her. And I'm sure she's got plenty of targeted lines. Knowing him, he likes to target things. Image update looks good though. Like, God, how long has it been since Kuro made that last one?
It was one of the very first things I did when I joined the Discord servers. Worked together with Kuro to revive
that was
Chiaki.
probably around March.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like it was a well-deserved update, and she looks good with it.
It's like March or April.
Mm-hmm. That's almost a year now, so she's looking good.
That reminds me, alongside this Chiaki update, she did duel up a lot with Mahiru. Kag and I worked together on that. Have either of you guys gotten it?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Wow, Mahiru? Sorry?
Wow, Mahiro.png was not found.
Oh,
so,
sorry.
Kag, what are your thoughts on Chiaki, especially since you helped make that duel up log?
I think this image update was very well done. It's definitely accurate to the character, and I think you did a really good job with it. And I definitely have started using her a lot more since. But yeah, now I'm just wondering when she's going to get a dialogue update.
I guess sooner rather than later. If I'm already going to be updating Kamina, Rinka, and Hanako after this episode's done recording to go alongside with a character that is also returned to testing. But before we get to that, we have a character from the Ace Attorney series of games returned to testing, Callisto U.
Ah, yes. She was like initially released like back in June. I'm sure you can go back and look at that episode and hear us talk about her back then.
Yep.
I remember
I remember talking about her back then.
I think I just complained that she was 8 layers of good. I don't know if she still is.
I think she is.
Yeah, I remember her coming out, but I don't remember anything about her.
Well, she was one of those characters that got put on testing, and then the creator vanished immediately.
Okay.
Like Marula.
Oh yeah, Rip Marula. Her creator died. We think.
Maybe they won the lottery.
He was sent to Azkaban.
Maybe they can afford to commission people to make their porn now.
Okay, so Cog, what are your thoughts on Callisto? Because I know that you are one of the bigger Ace Attorney fans on the Discord.
That's right.
I like her underwear.
Pardon?
I like her underwear. Nice high-waisted thong. Good stuff.
Well, yeah, as one of the resident Ace Attorney fans, I've really liked what they've done with the update. She's a lot more. Feels like you're like more satisfying to take her down now, sort of like Remilia, and she just feels a lot more in character than she did before. If she could increase the amount of generic she had, though, I think she'd be a really solid foil to, say, Mia and Ini.
Okay. Ferris, do you have any thoughts on Callisto?
Well, I don't know. I think I said all I could about her. I remember when she first dropped. I don't remember hearing anything about her. like good or negative. But then she just kind of dropped off, and now she's back. And I don't know. I've been meaning to get into the Ace Attorney series for a while, so maybe this is the kick in the pants I need.
It's a good franchise.
I know.
Simon Black Quill is one of my favorite characters of all time.
Eat your hamburgers, Apollo.
I could go for some hamburgers.
Oh, don't even
Just
get me
finished eating a
started.
hamburger.
So Gusto, I think that she's really missing the just 10-minute laugh post forfeit that just gets even louder and more out of control as the game goes on. Because I really can't sell how hard her laugh is when she breaks down in the actual game. And I think that Spnaati needs that. I think it needs a mad laugh.
Well, have you played her? She sort of has that in her masturbation stage.
No, but I want it to go even further beyond.
You want to turn that laughter into like a black canary scream?
More or less.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool how she like broke down at the end, but I think she needs a little bit more like explaining what the fuck her deal is. Like she's kind of stoic, which I like, but I didn't learn a whole lot about her. Or like, okay, why is she laughing? What's so funny?
I actually can't even remember why she laughs
She
in the main game.
She doesn't really like drop an act like the way Eni does. She just can't stop laughing for some reason, and you never really learn why.
Did you
In the actual game, she laughs because she makes bad jokes all the time, but she doesn't really do that here.
Is that it?
Did
Pretty
you have
much.
Joey on your table?
What?
I was just wondering if you had Joey on your table.
No, you're really quiet.
Oh,
You
You gotta start eating the mic.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna fix
No,
that.
you're really quiet.
I'm sorry, let me fix that.
You're still quiet.
Ah!
Yeah, you gotta crank up that gain.
You guys have actual mics?
Yes. Is this working?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
good.
better.
I don't even know why I did that.
Okay. Anyway,
mic. Not that it helps much.
next character to hit test or return to testing was Valhalla's Streaming Chan. Boy, I've got a lot to say about this character.
She scares me.
Done by the writer of Kazuna.
Okay, so why don't you guys just start off? Because I'll end it because I've got a lot to say about this character.
Well, I think it's pretty funny how she like chooses to interview who like the most popular characters were on the last resort poll, like just to sort of bump up her own popularity. I think that's pretty funny and kind of says a lot about her character already. Yeah, and in general, like I still need to reply to her interviews, but they're all pretty interesting stuff. Definitely a good avenue to take, kind of like dig deep into what makes them tick. And you kind of learn a little bit about her too from the questions she asks. So I like her.
Mm-hmm. I remember playing against her because I've never played Valhalla, but I played against her like when I first found the game, and she was just like any other old character. She's like, "Hey, how about those gloves, name?" And like this kind of came out of nowhere for me, and I saw this and. Like, all of a sudden on the Discord, there's this notice that's like, warning, mature content. I was like, oh, trigger warning. Okay. So now, yeah, like, she's really crazy in depth, and she's got all these different things that she can do depending on how the game goes, and it's just like, this is insane.
Okay, well let's make this clear to casual listeners first of all that this is just an attempt by Namasp to recruit his fiance to give Streaming Chan more lines so she stops weighing Say down in the resorts.
Oh, I never thought of that. That's fourth dimensional chess right there.
What are you, dumb? That's literally the first thing I thought.
I think he's admitted himself too.
Say update when.
So Cog, what are your thoughts on Streaming Chen?
I absolutely love this update. Like when Streaming Chen was introduced, she was just like, oh hey, it's just the normal character, but she has a camera on her head. But now that she's here, I love what she's done. Like you can tell just how much character she has from her interviews and the conversation she has. Plus, I think the marker system that she uses to actually determine the interview questions is fantastic. And she's probably one of my favorite characters on testing right now. She's definitely worthy to be up there with Say Now for sure.
Anything else?
I've said my piece, so not really.
Okay.
Okay, give your speech, Johan.
Now I actually did play Valhalla. Unlike Nmasp, who is a hack fraud and made Psy, I've 100%ed that game. And
yet you don't know that it's pronounced say.
Are we gonna do this? Are we really gonna do this again? Can I not have
It's
it?
tradition.
Then it's say Asagiri.
Okay, okay, whatever.
Naryu.
I've gotten all the achievements in that game. I've played the heck out of it. Love the game, and I can already tell. I've only played her in a couple of games, but I can already tell that Streaming Chen is just going to have to be a regular character for me because of just how much replayability she has. The marker system is crazy cool. I find it really engaging, and like after playing her, I was just like, okay, yes, I need to get out an update and respond as soon as I'm done with the podcast today. I think that she's a great character. I think that she's probably up there, tied with Futaba, my favorite characters on testing at the moment. And that's all I've got to say. And then we have one new character on testing that isn't a sponsorship or a revival, it's just a straight up new character. We've got Ribbon Girl from ARMS. She came out today.
The Nintendo Switch fighting game.
ARMS always makes me think of that one Sonic video where Tails is called ARMS. The magical kitsune.
Jeez. Oh my god.
And he has to spin his arms around to fly, and it just makes horrible bone-cracking sounds. It's ARMS!
Oh my god. Oh. Ribbon Girl's cute. I've always wanted to play ARMS, because it looks like a really fun game, but that face when no Switch. Also, she's got, like, no porn at all. So
I don't know anything about ARMS, other than that Twintel is the one with the fat ass.
Yeah, having a Ribbon Girl in the game is a big thing for the ARMS community, because that brings her total amount of nude images up from, like, 20 to, like, 1 million.
Oh, come on, she has to be doing better than Maya and Jura.
Well, I don't know. Even her, like, Rule 34 Pahil page is, like, nothing. I checked the Danburu, I checked, like, Rule 34, nothing.
Well, it's because the gentleman's taste is,
Twintel.
Oh.
The gentleman's taste is Twintel.
Yes.
There's amazing.
Yes, that's...
Millions and millions of images of her, and, like, none of...
Well,
Ribbon.
that's the only ARMS character I know, and that's because of her butt.
It's like 95% Twintel, 5% Min Min, and then everybody else gets nothing.
Well, Min Min is great.
I want to play those cheeks like the bongos.
Hopefully, Ribbon Girl with some updates down the line, because she literally just came out, like, today, right? Hopefully,
Yep.
with her updates down the line, she'll Give us a reason to look at her instead of Twintail.
Alright, Cog, what are your thoughts on
Is
Living Girl?
Twintail a forbidden waifu?
No, I don't think anyone's ever suggested her for the game, actually.
I don't know.
Yeah, not yet.
So I played her earlier today, and yeah, she's got good art, but her dialogue could do some work. She doesn't have many targets, and she has a bit of Jane Doe syndrome, where she doesn't really talk about her franchise and what her whole deal is. So
Yeah.
I think that could use some work. And besides that, I think she has a strong base and good art, so she has a lot of potential. And I'm excited to see where she goes from here.
Yeah, if you don't know, Jane Doe syndrome is just short for like the character's dialogue kind of sounds like stuff that anybody could say. Like, oh, I guess it's Name's turn.
Yeah,
And
kind
that's
of
it.
like the original four Spnanon girls or whatever. Basically just that. Of course, it's a lot different nowadays. Like, Jane Doe's can have like 500-600 lines, which is nuts.
Well, yeah, I mean, line count has not a whole lot to do with Jane Doe syndrome. Like,
Mhm.
there's some characters I can name right now that have thousands of lines, but they still feel like kind of the same the whole time.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, it's more just like the tone, and like you want your character to like give a unique take on what's happening, and if they don't really have one, then at least like kind of mention their franchise.
I think that Ribbon is cute. But yeah, she definitely needs to play up more of this in terms of her game. Like, she's a fighter, she's a pop star, if I remember correctly. She's got a lot of things a lot of interesting things about her that you could really play up. And I'm excited to see where BK goes with this.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I haven't played her yet. I'm just talking about Jane Doe syndrome like in abstract, because I got home from work today and I was very tired, and I saw that she was there. I was like, oh god, I really need a nap.
I did a quick run pressing like the draw button a million times to see what we were dealing with for art and stuff. Like, I quickly threw her and whoever was on the front page into a game, so...
How'd it go?
Well, she looks good. She's got a decent variety in posing. There was a couple poses that came up a bunch, and you really notice that when you're just clicking on the button, because it shows you, oh, change, no change, change, no change. So it was like, there was a decent amount of posing, especially near the end of the game, because she was like losing pretty frequently. But like early on, there was like one pose, but like she's dynamic in her posing. Like, she's really got no calm pose, because it's like either she's like got her arms on her hips or whatever, or she's got this, I don't know. There was this other pose. She had her eyes closed. She was using it a bunch.
That's weird. I think somebody said on her channel that like she used her calm pose too much.
No, I
I
didn't.
never noticed that when I was testing her.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at all. So
I did read that, and I kind of noticed it too. According to BK, I think that she currently has two poses that just go unused. And he's waiting for targeted lines and stuff for those
I would
to
force
go.
myself to use them.
Yeah.
well, fingers
Right.
crossed he finds the use.
Well, okay. Well, you said stuff like that she's a pop star, but like, do you see that in the game, or is it just like sort of like a bio thing?
In Spnaati or in ARMS?
No, in ARMS.
I think in ARMS it shows up in like the story mode.
There's a
It
story
has a
mode?
story?
It's like your typical fine game story mode, but there is one I've seen.
It's like Felicia with her whole non-pop star thing.
So when does she beat me up and tell me to go home and be a family man?
Maybe in the epilogue, maybe she'll just punch your dick. Because I got like all sorts of different
characters have epilogues.
I don't know, but like with ARMS characters, they have like all these different things they can put on their gloves. Like I think there's one that's just like a fire-breathing dragon or whatever. So just imagine punching your dick with a dragon.
I think I'm gonna have Revy just think that Ribbon Girl is like a clown and a boxer fucked.
Oh man,
this was the result.
We're on a table with Joey and like Lil Mac when he comes in the game.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's a specific line.
So a boxer, a clown, and a pop star walk into a room, and I assume that she comes out.
Revy's the doctor. She's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I'm just saying that like, I think it's probably a lot harder to sort of get a strong personality out of a video game character, just because there's a lot less to work with compared to like character from an anime.
I'd be inclined to disagree.
You know, like it depends what you play. Like if you play Super Mario Bros. On the NES, there's like he doesn't even say anything. He collects the coins. He moves to the right. You could make a character out of that.
Like you have a blank slate to work with, but that also means it's hard to come up with specific things to show their character.
Well, you could have him move to the right. What if you made Mario for Spnaati and he just moved to the right the whole game?
Well, with the new pose engine, that's not even going to be impossible.
I know, that's why I brought it up. Oh man. Oh, I hope they end up making him.
What if his last strip is he takes a hit and shrinks?
No, he builds up speed doing a BLJ for 12 hours and just actually comes out of your computer or phone, wherever you're playing on, and enters the real world.
Hold on, he built up speed by hyperspeed walking. With the slope close to the water.
Beating Spnaati in 0.5 A presses.
Is the inventory QPU aligned?
It better be.
Our first Spnaati speedrun.
TJ Henry Yoshi, please make a character.
Oh my god, that fucking video is like 3 years old now.
Jeez.
He never made another video like it, and it makes me sad every single day.
He still makes videos. That was the last commentated video that he did.
But that's such a wasted opportunity.
Oh yeah, totally. That guy's fucking awesome.
I want him to be like my dad, my mentor, and like everything.
I just want him to talk to me about Super Mario 64 for hours.
He'll tuck you into bed, and he's like,
I want him to release an audiobook where he just like dissects Super Mario 64 down to the source code.
All right, and with that, we've moved on from all of the.
Oh, there's one thing. Lot got an update where she has freckles on her tits now, and I was
she did.
During this podcast, I was playing a game with her and Jura just to get it, and it looks pretty good.
Stuff. You know,
I don't think I target Lot all that much. I still need to target her fan fiction stuff.
I
gotta play catch up.
I think that there's another girl who might deserve those freckles as well. Because I was playing a game with My Hero today, and I thought, this feels empty.
But
more here.
Does she have freckles on her boobs in the canonical shower scene, where you see her boobies?
I don't know. However, I don't care.
You monster. First you make Hanako shaved, and now this. Or you make her not shave, and now you're doing this.
You're just spitting in the face of canon.
I'll at least see how it looks in Kisuke, and then...
Listen, Hanako wasn't shaved, she was just singed off.
Yeah, first we got Rinko with these double D titties, and now there's Hanako who's like...
I fixed the Rinko thing.
Out. I
People complain to me about the Rinko...
I
And I
complained to
fixed
you
it.
about the Rinka thing, and then more people did, and then you fixed it. So hopefully I'm pioneering this thing where we can get people to complain about Hanako on the anonymous feedback poll.
If it really bothers people, I'll do it, but I won't like it.
Justice for Hanako!
Anyway,
This is a good thing about Maya being pretty obscure, is that I think I made her tits a little too big compared to the source, but nobody cares. Nobody's going to complain about that.
Oh, now that you've said that, people are going to specifically complain about that.
Well, I don't know. I was looking it up because I wasn't sure, because you don't see her out of like her armor much, and I think her armor kind of makes her boobs look bigger. And I don't know. I was looking like for a bunch of different shots, and it didn't seem all that consistent. So I was like, okay, well, why go through all the effort of changing it if it's just going to make her less attractive anyway?
Well, maybe that means you
And
should
there's a
make
couple
her.
shots where she kind of looks that big, so whatever.
You should make her emote with her breast size.
Like Ryuji.
No, blood flow.
sure they didn't die for this.
There's like mood ring nipples. It's like she's feeling sad, so they're blue now.
Oh god,
Shaggy
no.
does that.
That's like a
Or El
dranky
Shaggy
thing.
Blanco does that.
El Shaggy Blanco is a gift.
Oh, that would be an interesting April Fool's character, just like a bunch of the worst characters in the game, like Frankenstein together.
Oh no!
You have like Bai's poop arms, like Hinata's nipples,
You monster! You mean a goddamn chimera!
and like Kool-Aid Man's face in proportions.
Oh, Chimera jokes.
Anyway.
Rock Beach Jordan.
I think it's time we move on to the questions and answers.
Okay.
The first thing is, we've got 2 questions for Pharaohs. The first is, Pharaohs, how do you stay so sexy?
I really wasn't prepared for this question, and I tried for the last 9 hours to figure out an answer for this. And I really don't know. But I just gotta say, what I do is just be yourself and eat a lot of macaroni.
That sounds like good advice.
Well, that's what I do, and if they think I'm sexy, then, you know.
Alright, and then the second question for you is, sever or when?
I also spent the last 9 hours thinking of an answer to this question, and
I didn't even know you were making Severa.
I'm not.
Oh!
I had this joke.
So I guess they just mixed you up with Chase.
No, well, that's the thing, right? He was always making Sever, and I kept asking, Severa when, Chase? Like, and now I guess it's come and bitten me, because now he's not working on her anymore. He's working on Sop Mod Mark II from Girls Frontline, which I really hope he makes, maybe even more than Severa now. But I think he's trying to drop me a hint or something that he wants me to pick up where he has failed.
Ironic.
Well, that's the thing. I would probably do even worse at keeping a consistent upgrade schedule for her, getting her lines out, getting her personality right. I don't know.
Don't let the flame die out!
Well, you're gonna get a character from me in April. Very soon in April. Perhaps even, right after March. So.
Will
That'll
it be
be
a
cool.
bagel model?
Yeah, actually, Rabbit Bagel is doing the model. And I'm doing the lines, and we're gonna have a good time. He sent me some of the poses he's got, and they're very expressive.
Alright. On to the main questions then. Question 1, who's your favorite My Little Pony character?
I gotta be honest, none of them really appealed to me all that much. They're kind of like bright and happy and bubbly, and I'm not like that at all. all my girls are like feisty or stoic or extremely aggressive.
Oh,
and
they're
have
characters
weapons.
for you.
and generally,
you probably like the Griffin chick. I can't
so
remember
it's
her
not really
name.
the kind of thing I go for. Like they're really popular. Like it's okay to like them. It's just it's not my thing. So I don't really get it.
Just play with Pinky more, man.
Pinky's really popular, and it's just an example of like, well, a lot of people like her, and it's just not for me.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's been years since I watched the show, but like Rainbow Dash is cool. Pinkie Pie is cool. It's pretty much all I got to say about it.
What about you, Cog?
Like I said earlier, I'm not really that into My Little Pony, but if I had to choose one character out of all of them, it would be Pinkie Pie, probably, because yeah, she fits the aesthetic well with her personality. Her art is great. Pigmana is a really cool Easter egg for those who are into that. And she has a lot of work into her, and she's just really well done overall.
What about you, Johan?
See, I feel like everybody's expecting me to say, yeah, that's the expected answer, right? Because I'm the cowboy.
Do you hate cowboys?
Oh, one moment.
Oh, what a cliffhanger.
Everybody's expecting me to say Applejack, but my answer may surprise you. That is actually Fluttershy. And I'm glad that Black is making her, because she's the best of the main 6 cast.
Well, actually, it makes complete sense. Considering you made Chiaki.
I'm sorry, you cut out for me. What was that?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, I think it makes perfect sense, especially since you made Chiaki, so.
I like soft girls. I like soft girls with pink hair.
Thick.
Alright, question is, what are some of your favorite poses in the game?
Is this like not counting the ones we made? I feel like that's a little too easy.
Yes, I think that's fair. You can't count your own poses.
Because counting the ones I made, probably just the one where Revi and Maya are beating the shit out of each other. Nothing like two naked chicks fighting.
I am also a fan of that because cross counter is the hype of shit.
Yeah, I said it. I'm the patriarchy. I just like watching women be exploited.
One of my favorite poses are Spnanon's blank poses, because they got that 1 pixel in them.
Ouch.
No, I really like the pose where Jira's like naked and she turns around and flips her hair. That's a really good one.
She what?
Where she like turns around, you could see like the detail on the inside of her knees or whatever.
Oh, okay. So like the butt pose.
Yeah, that's a nice pose.
Well, thank you. I'm thinking of like going back and redoing their butts again, just because like Haru's butt is like the new gold standard for butts. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just steal it.
Meta.
The butt meta has been getting crazy lately. Like,
yeah, butts are getting better, and I'm gonna be left behind.
Yeah, because I'm looking at some of these older butts, and they look all weird and stretched out.
Alright, what about you, Cog?
I don't really have anything to say about most poses, but one type of pose that I really like is the tandem poses, or like the crossover poses between characters. So stuff like the Monica Sayori joint stuff, the Jura Maya, and like you said, the Maya and Rebi. I really like all of that.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Spnanon, besides the poses you've made, did you want to say anyone?
I'm an ass guy. I'll be the first to admit it. So in general, I just like butt poses. It usually gets me going, especially when there's like a little expression to them, and they're not just like turning around and standing up straight. There's a lot of good butts out there. Misato and Jolene, they have good butts. Haru has a great butt.
Good taste.
Chun-Li's is a little old now, but it's an acquired taste, really.
I'm a fan of a couple of poses. I like Futaba's pose. I'm a fan of Jotaro's the pointing pose. That one's really cool looking. A character
That's
that
just because you want to put Shun in the game with his pointing pose.
No, I don't want to put him in the game. I want somebody else to put him in the game for me. But it is still a cool pose. I can just every time he does what I hear, I will be the one to judge you in my head. I am a fan of Kamina's pointing pose. I didn't make the pose, I can say it. And I'm a huge fan of the Revimea fight pose, just because cross counter is the hypest shit. And those are all the ones that come to mind to me.
What's that?
That's all that comes to mind immediately. Alright, the next question is, the Valentine's event will start a week after this episode releases. Do you have any hopes as far as alternate character costumes go?
Well, I've already added my submission. The credit goes to the Lonely Phone Box on the Discord, who also made a Ghost Bride Weiss for Halloween 2018. But he came out of nowhere and just said, "Hey, can I make an alt costume for Maya?" And I was like, "Sure." So now she's dressed up as a Cupid from Monster Girl Encyclopedia. And I've never played a Monster Girl game.
So when he offers to do it, you let him. But when I want to make a Xenoblade X alt for Maya, you tell me the costume is way too designed.
Oh, which costume?
Elma.
Okay, well, let's start off by saying that I know nothing about either franchise. When I saw Elma, first of all, I didn't get it. Suddenly, it looked like visual vomit. Or a second, it was just like a bunch of clashing colors all over the place, and there didn't seem to be any design cohesion to it.
You're a coward.
The Cupid one is actually clearly like designed around hearts and being a Cupid and having like arrows and shit. So okay, it's Valentine's, makes sense. And also the description of it was like, the male planet in NTRed kind of sees women as monsters, so monster girls, it makes sense. Majera would sell Valentine's Day, and like they're supposed to be like stoic and quiet and like not good with words, and they sort of like show up through like actions and stuff. So like that, I was like, that fits Maya pretty well.
I think he's got a point.
You just kind of dropped her in a costume, and I'm like, why should I care?
All right.
Also, he offered to do all the posing. Like, it's totally his mission. Like, he should get all the credit for it. I just put the files together. What?
I would have done the posing.
Yeah. Theme.
Alright. So... Pharaohs, what about you?
I don't know. I hope we get a lot of good suggestions and submissions. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah. Basically, I think the more characters we get that get their Valentine's costumes, the better. Because, it's like a little celebration, If you can't have like a full table full of them, what's the worth, right?
Well, we've already got 4 at least.
Why not make 2 tables? And when am I getting my pictures of Spider-Man?
I didn't.
Is there any character in particular that you're hoping gets an alt?
Not really. I don't really have any preference for this. I don't know if our resident love fairy Q got something even better.
I think for Valentine's Day, Q would just show up naked.
Well, like,
Don't
what
distract
if she
Yuri even more. She's already got so much.
What if they made her like a washed-up love fairy or something? It's like too much love. Too much loving for this girl. Yeah, she's got like one boob hanging out. She's like, "Listen, kid, love ain't all what they say it is."
Thanks for the sex, homie. Used to tell him.
She's like, "Hey, can you give me a ride to pick up my kids after this?"
All right. So Cog, what about you?
I'd just like to say I didn't write any alternate dialogue for Maya's costume yet, but I think it should be in the game files if you want to play her offline. I'll try to give her some lines about it before the Valentine's Day thing actually starts. So just gonna throw that out there.
All right, Cog, what about you?
I don't really have any high hopes. Like, I'd be excited to see one of my characters get out costume, but nobody really ever does anything with them besides me, so I'm not holding my breath for it. But otherwise, I'm just excited to see what comes. Hopefully there's some surprises still in store.
If she wasn't on testing, I would think of like making like a Ryuko alt where she's just in the standard like jacket and sweater and stuff.
Or the Satsuki version where she wears Satsuki's kanui?
Oh, you mean when she... Oh, yeah. Well, that's not very romantic. That's when she's fucking crazy. Because
Yes, but it's her wedding dress.
It's her wedding dress.
Isn't that what they say in the show?
Well, she says that it's... No, it's... Okay, Junketsu is like called like Satsuki's wedding dress. But then Ryuko is the one who kind of like dreams about having a wedding dress. Because she wants to get married one day and like have like a normal life.
In its horribly morbid kind of way.
Yeah, but why would you want that? That's not sexy. That's horrible. Because it's fucking sewn to her. How's she gonna take it off? Do you want her to just spray blood all over the table?
Listen. Yes.
I'm not Yuri, okay? I'm not into that.
Well, gosh, I think someone needs to get you.
She
into
takes it
that.
off
They just
in the
need to-
game.
Did you not see
in
the
the show.
Ryuko epilogue I made? I'm into like, little bit of making out here, little bit of missionary there. Nice staring into each other's eyes, all smiles.
I mean, they could probably get you into like gore if they did some Maya gore, you know?
I feel like that'd be the wrong way to do it.
Well, just like cut off some of her fingers.
I didn't even hear what you said.
You don't gore another man's wife without permission.
I was just saying you could get into gore by like goring Maya.
Why would I want that though?
I don't know.
Anyway, as for my answer, I made an alt for Chiaki. I'd be more than okay with anybody coming forth and offering to make an alt for any of my other characters. As for characters that I hope get some stuff, I guess any of Enasp or Cog's characters, seeing those guys get some ults would be cool. Ochiko, particularly, I feel like could be fun. I don't have any ideas, but I like that character a lot.
That'd be cool.
Alright, here's a question that I remember Spnanon in particular said, I don't like this question, so here we go.
Oh joy.
One of your characters gets added by someone completely new. They have twice as many lines, a fantastic model, and 3 epilogues with the new system. On the Discord, they showed a lot of enthusiasm for the character and thought they could do a better job at them. What do you do?
Kill them. Eliminate them.
Come on, Span, we gotta let the guest answer first. You just hold on to that anger for a little bit longer.
That's the only answer, though.
Well, I don't know. I got no horse in this race, but I'm just seeing if any of you guys are, which one of you guys wouldn't kill me if I did that.
Sakog, what about... Okay, what's your answer?
To be honest, if they did the character right, then I'd be ecstatic. I don't really care or play with my characters that much because I don't like my own writing style. So if they did the characters justice in my eyes, I would 100% let them. Plus, if they did double Pit's line count, we'd finally have a weapon that could surpass Maya gear.
True.
Alright, Spam. So, somebody comes out of nowhere, makes a better Maya than you, and she's got 20,000 lines.
What do you do?
Well, okay. Well, first of all, this is extremely unlikely. If they're going to be completely new, what are the chances that they're actually going to be like good at Kisake?
But it says a
Or good at
fantastic
writing.
model, right?
Yeah, this is all hypothetical.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you cut out for me, what?
Okay, you can be hypothetical about anything, but that doesn't make it likely in any way. You could be hypothetically a meteor could drop tomorrow, but
So
it's
the
not going to
question-
fucking happen.
But what would you do if someone made
What would you do?
Okay, well, let's answer the twice as many lines. I think it's a fallacy to assume that because she has twice as many lines, they're all good and as valuable to the game. Like, we're...
He refuses to entertain the possibility.
Oh
No.
my god.
No, you fucking listen here, alright? You don't fucking write 20,000 lines in a vacuum and they're all gonna magically be good and better than 10,000 lines that were built up over the course of a year by talking with other characters and making organic fucking interactions. It's just, you can't do that. They're not going to be as good. I'm sorry. That's
What if
impossible.
the dude making it is the dude who wrote Van Dread?
What if she had like a
It's fucking
dynamic
stupid.
dialogue system?
It's a fallacy. Just because you have more lines doesn't make them better.
Okay, but what about if they made like a perfect 1-to-1 likeness with her model and 3 epilogues with the epilogue system?
Kill them and steal it.
What if they were in space?
I
answer?
don't deny that. You could totally just like make objectively better art.
But
Yeah,
what
you
would
could
you
do
do?
that.
What would
But-
you do? If someone came out with a better model of Maya, with better characterization, and they seemed like a chill person, what would you do?
I tell them to go fuck themselves. What the fuck? You don't just come in like that.
You don't steal. You don't NTR another man's wife.
Oh, but if they did have a new model, like an entirely new model in posing and stuff, they could just put her on the testing table.
Yeah, you could. It'd be pretty fucking rude. Like, why didn't you just like approach me about it and like, hey, maybe we could work together? And then if they're so fucking amazing at writing Maya, then then I'd probably let them do it. I'd probably like work together with them. If they're so fucking perfect.
My answer is that in general, I'm pretty open to collaborating with people. So if somebody was better at me, then I guess it'd be on their hands if they wanted to collaborate with me. But I'd be more than happy to. If they can do it better than I can, then I can. I'm not going to complain. It's less work for me.
I see this mentality in a lot of like. There's been a couple of testing table submissions where they come on with like 3,000 lines, and then it was poorly received because they didn't get any feedback on them in the first place because they assumed that, oh well, my character has 3,000 lines, so everyone's gonna love them. It's like, no, you can't write 3,000 or however many lines in a vacuum, and good as lines that were actually organically built up over time. They're just not going to be as good. I'm sorry.
I think you just hate this hypothetical man.
At a certain point, you just need to stop.
If you are making a character for the first time, you should only put them on testing with as many as you'd be okay to completely redo.
Or just get some feedback beforehand. Like, hey, here's the direction I want to take this character in. So everyone can be like, that's dumb, before you write 3,000 lines.
Yeah, I think we've warned people against that on the social server as well. I remember specific instances where someone's like, I'm gonna have my character come out with 3,000 lines. And then, like, Namas or whoever would come out and be like, don't do that. That is ridiculous.
Only put them there with as many lines as you're okay with having to start over if everything goes poorly.
Yeah, because then if you have to redo that many lines, and then if that doesn't go good, because you just redo all your lines in a vacuum again, and then you have to scrap all those lines again, and then they do that a couple more times, and then they get burnt out. And maybe
I've been there.
Sit around with whiplash or whatever.
Been there with characters, and it's not fun. Okay, the next question is, do you enjoy it when a character you made gets a franchise mate? Pharos, what about you?
This has never happened to me.
I always enjoy it when people make characters from things that I make, because then I can tell my therapist about them because I've made no characters. So if they come forward and say, I made a character from the same franchise as you, that's how I know they're not real people.
What about you, Cog?
Well, for my character specifically, there's two sides of this. Or three, rather. You have the characters who are pretty much never going to get a franchise mate, which is the Kid Icarus crew. You have the characters who...
Little you know, I've been making Magnus for the last months.
Then you have the characters who everybody's going to complain about being a franchise mate, which is the Team Danganronpa or Team Ruby. And then you have Team Ace Attorney, which I'm actually really happy got more representation, because I love that series, and characters like Eni and Franziska and Callisto are really welcome additions and really play off the aesthetic of the series well, in my eyes, so I'm really happy with how that turned out.
So you generally enjoy when your characters get testing mates?
More or less. Like, even when people complain about the franchise getting more reps, I'll still enjoy them.
I agree, because I am actively seeking out the creation of more Danganronpa characters. I've tricked Viz into making Chihiro. I'm dangling the Tenko stick in front of Zuja. I've made a Miu for Dev Nameless. Now I just need to find somebody who I can outplay and trick them into writing Kaede for me. Then I am actively waiting for another fucking Fire Emblem character named Setsuna.
Setsuna.
Yeah, I'm waiting on her. I'm excited for Hayato. I love it when characters that I've made get a franchise mate. I find it helps make really fun lines as opposed to having to inflate them via targeting situations that I must target. I find it's it can be really fun. That's all I've got to say about that. The next question is, if you could make
Hey, you didn't ask me.
Well, you answered at the beginning.
That it's never happened to me.
Yeah. I guess
there's been some talk of it. People have
Satsuki
spoken
eventually.
about making Satsuki. Well, that's Cog and Black Cthulhu. But
Black
I'd love to
Cthulhu's
see
making
it.
another
Satsuki Kiryuin from Kill la Kill. I'd love to see her. I'd love to make her personally, but I'm not going to snatch her up like that. Revi, I mean, people have talked about making Roberta. Black has said that. I think Yuri and Odin have tossed around the idea of making Sawyer, but that's not happened. So I guess the only example is just Maya getting Jura, but I did that to myself. It's definitely a lot of work to do all that targeting. I kind of end up playing myself because Jura ended up beating her last resort, so now she's on page 1 and Maya's stuck on page 3.
Since you've played yourself.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And the worst part is that she's right next to the Doki Doki girls, so of course everyone's gonna pick them instead.
Oh no.
NTR'd yourself.
What?
You NTR'd yourself the first page slot.
It's okay.
Spnanon is the hypothetical man now.
No, he is, though! That's exactly what he did to Ryuko!
Oh no. Holy shit. Oh my god, he is!
But that project
This
is
is why he
completely
hates
dead,
him.
though.
Oh, he hates the hypothetical man because he is one. He's just so
Amazing.
defensive because he knows that's who he is. It's like a murderer saying how much they hate
I would-
murderers.
That Ryuko never even got off of testing. Don't fucking throw that at me. If
You
she
are the
was in the
fucking
game for like a
hypothetical
year,
man.
I wouldn't come in and be like, "Hey, I made Ryuko."
I think thou dost protest too much.
If you stare into the abyss,
Shit.
the abyss will
Not the
stare
same.
back.
It's not the same.
It's the same thing. It's
This is
literally
fake
the same
news.
scenario.
You go, no, it's not. Fuck you.
He is the NTR man. The fat ugly bastard was the co-host all along.
I'm fucking crying. Oh,
I didn't
God.
even start that project. Superfluous did.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh my god.
If it wasn't for him, I'd be like making Balalaika or something. Or Fubuki. Completely new character.
Oh, so it's a threesome.
Anyway, the next question is, if you could make characters for Spnati as a full-time job, would you go?
Oh god, yes.
Yes.
I think the only motivation
what's the pay
that's
like? Am I getting like minimum wage?
Dude, I'd
Yeah.
take minimum wage.
Let's say it's minimum wage.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Cog?
Do it.
I kind of try to make that happen anyway. Just maximize my time working on it.
Yeah, I already poured a lot of passion into it, so if I could get paid for it, I'd totally do it.
I think
just-
cash is like the only thing stopping me. Like, man, if I could
just-
get paid
I
to
just-
do it, I'd totally do it, like all the time.
I just wish I could brag about it
You can if you're not a
without
coward.
people thinking I'm a creepy weirdo. I mean,
It's
I
just
am a creepy
something that
weirdo,
you
but I don't want
write.
people knowing about it.
Just tell them that you write dialogue for a game.
And then they're gonna say what game,
And then just say Spnaati.
and then just
You don't have
take
to tell them
take
what
a
it
sip
means.
of water, and just look at them awkwardly.
You don't have to
Tell
tell
them.
them what it means. Just tell them you write dialogue for Spnaati. And if they know, then they know, and they're a sex
And they're gonna
pervert.
be like, "What's?" And they're gonna be like, "What's Spnaati?"
And then you tell them it's a browser-based strip poker game featuring popular Rule 34 characters.
No, you don't have to tell them. You can just say it's a game.
It goes to a different school. You wouldn't know it.
What the fuck? What the fuck is the point of bringing it up if you can't go into specifics? They're gonna be like, "Why are you being weird and evasive?"
Anyway,
Do you not talk to people? No.
my
They're
answer.
gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
My answer is yes. I'd absolutely do a time job opportunity. Who the fuck wouldn't? It's literally one of the most fun things I've had doing in a long time.
I mean, fuck, I've done a lot of work out for no pay, so we're all volunteers here.
Yeah, you get like a promotion at this rate.
Next question is, do you ever find yourself wishing you could do live Let's Plays of your Spnanon games with energetic commentary?
No.
I don't really want to jerk off on camera.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm looking at this ass and titties, and I don't want to be like, hey, gamers, this is Eat the Pussy 66. We're back at it again with SPNati. Now, you see, we got some new updates to the game. The meta's changed. There's now titty freckles, and you see, this is SS tier stuff, man.
Pose engine.
It just doesn't work, man.
Well, it's not the kind of game where you play it and there's like hype moments where you go nuts, and it's like
there's no turnabout. There's no turnabouts.
I don't know. I think it's really the kind of game you play alone. What are you supposed to do other than just like let the chat read their dialogue for a while and then click again?
Well, yeah, I think.
What about you, Cog?
Like, where would you even host it anyway? Because I'm pretty sure it's against YouTube's terms of service.
Put it on one of those webcam people sites, you know, where they strip for money.
There's a couple SPNati videos on YouTube. I think they just blur it out.
Oh, one person didn't, actually. I remember seeing, they were like, whoops, ignore this frame where I forgot to blur this, sorry.
I used to do...
Like 14 also.
Yeah,
I used to do Let's Plays on YouTube, and I can tell you, no, I never want to go back.
Also, since I never...
It's a bit of a saturated market now.
Also, since
would you want to be just yet another asshole playing video games and pretending he's entertaining? Are you talking, Cog? Because I can't hear you.
I was saying that since I never answered the question, I should do that.
Wait, you should... You or the person who asked?
I never answered it, no.
Oh yeah, okay, go on.
No, I would not, because A, I don't have any recording equipment for that, and B, I am very much not an energetic person, so I would not be able to do Let's Plays in an engaging way.
I've seen videos where people play like gacha games or whatever, and it's like, hey everyone, let's like do a poll together. And it's like, what do you do for this? It's like, all right, everybody watching, let's jerk off together.
It's like a spirit bomb, but made of semen.
Yeah. All right, everybody, it's coming up.
I saw those in like YouTube ads. Like I saw YouTube ads where they're playing gacha games. It's like, oh, you can put the ring on her finger, and I'm like, is this an actual thing, or is this just an ad to make it seem like cool people play this?
I understand the appeal of watching people play gacha games just because it's fun to watch people pull things without you having to spend money yourself.
I guess it's like those surprise egg videos.
Alright.
It's like watching people play the slot machines.
Let's see here. The next question is... How often do you sponsor characters? What makes you decide whether or not you want to do it?
I don't know. I try to sponsor characters as much as I can. But it really depends on I don't know, I'm a really shallow person. If they're like not cute or not from something I recognize, I don't think I will give them a sponsor. But like, I don't know if they look cute, if they're from something I know, or if they're by someone I know, I usually give them a sponsor.
I guess, Cog, you don't get to answer this, do you? Because you're a mod.
Yeah, I'm a mod, so there's really no point in me doing sponsorships. Like, in a worst case scenario, I could and let the mod QA go to Pat or Viz or someone, but overall, there's really no point in me doing a sponsorship myself.
I didn't even know mods were allowed to.
You can, but someone has to be on deck for mod QA, so overall, it's really not efficient for mods to do it.
I guess all 4 mods can never collab on a character.
Yeah,
No, then they just
I don't think
Joseph
any of
Cantillon.
us on this podcast sponsor all the time. There's definitely a group of users that kind of does it a lot. Like Hex, for example, usually involves himself in like every single one. Not always positively.
No, but I think that people like Hex are a valuable asset to in that regard. In that,
No, I think it's good.
Yeah, they do go out of their
He's
way.
very willing to complain about things, which you need.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
even
he
if-
gives us like a standard of quality.
Even if you get denied sponsorship, that's way better than just having no replies. Because at least if you get denied, you can know where you need to pick back up, what to fix. But if you just
It means
get
people
left,
care.
if you get left with nothing, that's the worst. And so I tend to reply to sponsorship, whether it's denying. I don't know if I've ever denied a character. It feels like whether it's denying or sponsoring a character, I do it, especially if I see nobody has replied, because I don't like the idea of somebody being left with that emptiness of uncertainty. But generally, if a character is put up for sponsorship, and I've been like, in the back of my mind, when is this character going to be up for sponsorship? I need to sponsor them. Then yeah, I'll sponsor them as soon as I can.
Yeah, I don't do it that often. I think I did Miko last, and before that, my last positive sponsorship was like Jolene back in August, and like I denied Pyrrha, I think, in between there. But generally, I stay pretty neutral unless I just happen to really like a character and want to see them there. I think Discord users give a majority of feedback, and you should probably be putting them up for sponsorship only when everyone is kind of happy there. So I'd rather just leave that up to kind of like random Reddit users who, maybe they don't have the most exacting of taste of like pointing out flaws and things, but it is a game for the public, so if it's good enough for them. The only exception I would make to that is like if it's a character from a really popular franchise who will never lose a popularity poll, even if they're mediocre, then you might want to deny them.
Mm-hmm. Man, there are a lot of characters who got into this game before modern sponsorship that won't die because of that.
Yeah, and they probably wouldn't have made it in otherwise. A lot of people just got lucky, let's say that.
Samus should be like 7 feet tall and ripped, and I'm frustrated that she isn't.
Samus is like 6'3" at the most.
How about you adopt her, Johan?
I've got so many projects already.
Yeah, but like, can't you put one of them on a hold? There's got to be one of your whips that you
I already made Stoic Samus. Her name's Maya.
Yeah. Just give Maya a Jura alternate color scheme and call her Samus, and we're good.
What if I just have Maya dress up as Samus for Halloween?
Do it!
Yeah. Fuck. Just keep it in the game and label it Samus.
No one will notice. Anyway, next question is, Do you think we're reaching a point where it becomes too hard/intimidating for new creators to come in and make characters?
I don't think so. New creators have been doing some really good stuff lately. Actually, knocking it out of the park. Like, except for like a couple exceptions where people would fall off the tables. That's just inactivity, you know. They still got them on the testing table, and if they're on the testing table, they're just a couple steps away from the main game. So I don't think it's really intimidating. Well, yeah, I'm sure it's intimidating, but I don't think it's too hard. I think it just takes a good sit down and trying to get into the mindset of the character.
Cog, what are your thoughts?
I think our new creators have been pretty solid lately, as I've said on this podcast many times. And I think our minimum requirements are still pretty lenient. So I don't think new creators really have that much of an issue with it. I think at most there's a certain gatekeeping aspect that certain people on the Discord will hit them with criticism, and that might be a bit intimidating, but overall I think that the process has more or less never been easier.
I think this kind of ties into what I was talking about before with sponsorship, where you can do a lot of gatekeeping at sponsorship and try to like, oh, well, their model has to be pretty much perfect because we have so many good artists now that can like help you with that. So you just need to be willing to try to work with them. I mean, for the most part, I think if you set high expectations, people will rise to meet them if they care enough. So it doesn't bother me that much. I mean, yeah, you might be kind of filtering out some of the less invested people, but did you really want them around anyway? I do think there's still room for, like, if nobody particularly cares about a character but them, then maybe you could go a little easier, because if they're just mediocre, then popularity polls will do the work there anyway. But I don't know, if you're working on a really popular character, you should probably expect that people they're fans of that character, so they're going to be hard asses about it. So you should be willing to learn.
Yeah, a lot of the responsibility does fall on the creators, so I more or less agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, just speaking from experience, I'd find like model making really hard. So that's something that I would definitely, and like Kisa kind of unintuitive, so it's definitely something that I would sort of like reach out for help with if I were making any new characters, which I'm not really currently doing at the moment. But I mean, it's nice to finish a project, but I think your first duty should be to make the character good, not for you personally to just finish a project. I mean, you are making it for fans of the character, right? So
I think that some of the newer creators are some of the better creators we've got. Like, Francisca's pretty strong. Dorian is got Eni and Navi. He's pretty talented. Opal rose to the occasion. Nehru did his marker work. We've got
are those two
Mystic.
really new anymore? I mean, they came in like September or August. Like,
God, was it that long ago?
But my point. Yeah. But there's some of the more recent creators is what I'm getting at. Like, compared to everybody else.
Opal's been on the podcast like 3 times.
Shut up!
God.
Don't think about it.
Okay, but like, I guess in that case, like characters that made it on the testing, we have Abacus, who made Francisca. We got I guess Horse Killer's still kind of new. He rose to the occasion. I think that people are still putting in the effort, putting in the work, and they're still making characters. So I'd say no. It might be intimidating to some, and it might be too hard for some. But again, that's just a personal thing in the end. You're never going to be done making the character. Whenever you get them into the main game, you're gonna have to update them lest they die. In which case, it's like the standards, the official standards, the official line count, the official rules might not, but if you abandon that character, they're going to start falling in terms of popularity. So even if it's not an official rule change that makes it so it's harder to make characters, if you abandon them, then that'll be on your hands.
Yeah, just don't expect them to be a mainstay.
Yeah, don't let your waifu die, man.
Okay, next question is, what would happen if you put a werewolf in a spacesuit on the moon? Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be
Nothing
a
will-
werewolf on the moon.
Nothing will happen.
Well,
until
clearly,
it's down.
werewolf transformations are triggered by the Blutz waves that come in from sunlight being reflected off the moon. So once it reaches like 19,000 Xenos or whatever, the transformation begins.
Well, what I'm thinking of is, would the werewolf transformation break the spacesuit, and do werewolves have to breathe oxygen? Like, could you choke a bitch out if they were a werewolf?
I mean, it's just a wolf, so I think it would
It's like
suffocate.
a wolf man, right? And they're weak to silver or whatever. That means they're like magical or something.
They become a werewolf too.
Still probably needs
Oh, no.
oxygen.
So, like, do you think the transformation would rip the spacesuit and that it just like die?
Probably.
What if they have a really big suit?
Oh, then it'll just
Then
fucking.
they'd be useless in their human form.
I think it'd just hang out on the moon until it like dies of boredom. The moon is really boring, so you know.
There's not a lot to do on the moon.
Were they just blindfolded before they got on the surface of the moon? Like, wouldn't they have seen it on the ship?
No, I think they were just teleported there.
Honestly, I think eventually they'll just stop thinking.
Here's a question: what would happen if you put a werewolf in a spacesuit on top of moon?
It would probably
Dissolve
file a
the
police report
spacesuit.
after. I think it would file
Or a
police report
werewolf,
after.
or a werewolf in moon on a spacesuit.
I'm not
Someone
convinced.
draw that fan art.
Moon probably sweats acid.
Moon is probably fucked an Incineroar.
Probably.
Yeah,
It's probably about as deadly as the moon.
yeah. Just imagine if you could like. What if that's what all the craters are on the moon? Just like big dick impact spots.
Alright, next question is, what channels, if any, do you have notifications on social Discord?
So like you get a ping whenever you.
Yes.
Oh well, I have that for the voice chat. Because I like to know when people are talking.
I don't get pinged for any of them. I mean, there's some that light up. Mostly just the character discussion ones. I'm big in, talking about the game or anime or whatever. It's the ones that people spam, like the series specific ones or bots or SPNati the trading card thing that I have muted.
What about you, Cog?
I have the entire server muted except for the mod discussion channels because, yeah, those are important and I want to stay up to date on what's happening.
Would you two
I've
like to
got a
share
couple-
some mod lore?
Sure. I will post the. Oh no, I actually probably can't say that. Never mind. I was gonna say I'd share the last message sent, but then it was like actually serious shit. So never mind.
Oh whoa.
I have a couple channels muted, like Waifu Spam, Bot Channels, Tabletop at the Inventory, Banner Firing Ring, Ham Steak, 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The only one that I get actual like notifications for is mod chat, because when a message is sent there, I have a responsibility to be.
So wait, you have the waifu spam muted, but not the fuck don't?
I have that one muted as well. A couple ones that I muted. I've got bots, tabletop, girls front line, fake grandor. Got a lot of them muted. Like probably only around 10. I just didn't feel like reading off all of them.
Okay, well I was concerned.
The only one I get like pinged for is mod chat, because if a message is posted in mod chat, I have to be there to read it. Next question is, do you remember the first Spnaati table you played with? Who was on it?
Lynn was on it, and that's all I remember, because she was the character that got me into the game.
I saw that old Lynn model, and I can't believe you can even tell that's Lynn.
Well, you know, it was a different time.
It was a different era.
I was a thirsty boy. I was a thirsty boy.
It wasn't even the worst Fire Emblem model. That was me. That was on me.
I think she was the only one in there for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, she was the first one.
She was until Rinka.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a long time after.
Alright, well, Cog, do you remember your first game?
Oh, it was easy to remember my first game. It was back when the game was still just a website hosted on DeviantArt. There were only 6 characters, so it's really easy to remember who I played with.
Oh yeah, Cog goes way back.
I believe it was Elizabeth, Lara, Lilith, and the Wii Fit Trainer was my first table.
Alright. So, yeah, I guess it's pretty easy when your options were that limited, huh?
Pretty much. And we liked it.
Yeah. This Cog guy, he's been around. He knows his
You
shit.
could really say that he's a pivotal Cog.
He knows like the fucking ancient stone tablets.
Was there in the birth of
He was there when he was there when Gay Spaghetti Chef died for our sins.
I was there for the birth and the death of the Gay Spaghetti Chef.
Oh.
Do not cite the ancient magic to him, which he was there when it was written.
I remember the Extreme
sacred
Exhibitionist
texts.
update. I was so hyped for that update, Extreme Exhibitionist update.
Damn, that was before my time. Ferris, I'm longer than I.
Yeah, actually, I'm coming up on like 2 years here this February.
Spam.
Oh, I just passed 1.
Spam, I'm actually really interested in yours. What is your answer to this?
I think I first found this game back in like June 2017. Well, I
hope that didn't fuck anything up.
You've got quite the editing job now, Johan.
This is gonna be interesting.
Can you like check and see if there's like an audio file somewhere?
Oh no, it sends you the link to download it as soon as you start soon as you start recording. So it, like, records it live and stores it as... we've got 1 hour and 40 minutes already, so...
Okay, good.
What we had isn't gone.
Okay, thank you.
I remember we had to re-record like episode 5 or something. I remember that.
Everything is good for now. We can continue where we left
until
off.
the editing.
So Craig didn't want to hear what my first table was.
Yeah,
I first
I
remember
did.
this back in like June 2017, and you know I looked at the Kisuke art style and I didn't think much of it, but I wasn't expecting much. But basically, let's see. I thought it was just a game that you could like win and that was it, and not like play over and over. because that's kind of what important games teach you. So I think I just picked. I thought I was being slick, and I just picked characters with low layer counts. So I think I had like Samus, 7 of 9, like Shantae and Melina.
Smooth.
And that was my table. So not a whole lot of layers there.
I remember that you said
And I
that
won.
when you first played with Kyoko, that's when you realized that this game had a little bit more to offer.
It wasn't.
And
it
I
wasn't,
know you don't know Danganronpa, so what got you to play the Kyoko?
I wasn't playing Kyoko. I found this game on Aiko on 4chan, so I talked about that. So I was in the thread, and some guy was talking about how he didn't know who the fuck Kyoko was, and he was playing with her, and they had the whole like deep character moment with her hands, and how he felt bad because she had to match with her burned up hands. And then I was like, oh fuck, this game has a little bit to it. So it was him sharing that story that really began this Spnanon train. So imagine if that guy never posted that one thing about Kyoko. The whole game would be changed.
Yeah.
And,
Really
and
makes
Pitt
you
would be
think.
sitting atop his line count throw.
Let's see here. I think that
All
I
because of
was.
that guy.
I know that I was pulled into Spinati through the Ruby Reddit. So my first game was probably just all the rubies. I remember that a lot of my early games are Lin in Zone 10. I tended to play franchises together a lot. I remember playing a lot of the Overwatch girls and not being able to win. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that my first game was literally just to the Ruby girls. Alright.
Did you win your first game?
I did. Despite not knowing how to play poker, I am very, very quick at picking up card games.
I don't even know how you remember that.
Remember what?
Well, like that you won your first game.
I remember, look, card games are serious fucking business to me, man.
Yeah. If we had Strip Yu-Gi-Oh, I would
Ooh,
fucking dominate.
yes. That'd give me some motivation to make Shun Kurosaki at long last.
Can we talk about all the fucking people that submit bug reports like, I had a pair and I lost? Fucking stupid. Game's bugged.
Just don't be a brainlet.
It's
Analyze their other hands.
It takes longer to submit a bug report than it does to just Google poker hands. Are you okay? Can you admit to yourself that maybe you don't know everything about poker?
Well, who do you think has the moral high ground between them and the people who roleplay with the characters in the bug report?
Neither of them. They're standing on equal footing.
Okay, if
at least the
both
role
of them
players
were-
are like putting some fucking effort in.
Okay.
At least we know they appreciate the product. I am upset that I don't get any weird sex perverts role-playing in my character feed. Am I not good enough?
I really want to write some Revy lines for like if she has a flush or a straight and the loser has a pair, and be like, you're not one of those fucking idiots that doesn't know what a flush or a straight is, right? Just make fun of them.
Anyway, next question is, which guest on the podcast would you most like to see back again?
Me. Get me on a fourth time.
I think
Okay,
we've had
who
mostly
would you want
returned
as a
guests
guest?
at this point.
Okay.
Which guest has not returned?
Niles.
It's Niels, Johan. It's Niels.
Niels.
Nile is the river.
Blue Coin. Black Skull / Cody.
Zuja's friends.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Zuja's friends again. They were pretty fun to banter with.
What about you, Cog Ferris? Who would you want to be on again?
I wouldn't mind seeing Cody again, especially since now he's planning on a possible Clover revival.
Ferris?
She does have a much better model now.
Oh, absolutely. You can tell how much he's improved since last time.
I really don't remember who's all been on the podcast.
Most of them are on this server.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking, like, who I'd want to, like, see talk again. I don't know. Get Opal on again. He's got some interesting things.
All right. I'm happy to have anyone on the podcast. I'd like to have Span on again. He's pretty fun.
Oh, fuck, dude. You know, I
Yeah.
can't make the podcasts.
Damn. Maybe one day.
What are you, like, not busy on a Friday night?
Okay. Real talk. I'm happy to have anybody back on the podcast. My biggest answer was Yuri for a while, and then I finally got her. And then she came back again. So, I don't know. Underscore, I guess, could be fun to have back. So I could bully him into updating his girls, because I like them, but they don't get updates. I know that I'd like to have NMASP on the next podcast, if possible, for no reason in particular.
How
Anyway.
very cryptic.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You saying that is making me worry about it more.
Let's just move into the next question. Who is my second best character, and who is Spnanon's second best character?
You skipped one.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did. What are your thoughts on feedback polls? Should we have them more often?
I absolutely love the feedback polls. I think it's a great opportunity to get some real constructive criticism into characters. I think that it's very important that that happens, because there was a lot of good realizations after the last feedback poll. Plus, it was fun to put little jokes in, like the little Long Dick Johnson joke for Metaton or whatever. Those were fun. Or like the little ones where someone would say that Raven has an gray vagina. I think all in all, they're really valuable to the game in both a development standpoint and an entertainment standpoint. So, I'm really looking forward to the next one.
Cog, what about you?
I love seeing what anybody has to say about my characters, good or bad. And like Ferris said, the entertainment value of them is really high too. So I would absolutely love to see them more frequently. Like, even if it's all just criticizing my characters, I'd still love to see all the feedback that people would submit.
I completely agree. I'd love to see them more. Span. Span?
Is he dead now?
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's typing. Oh, he's gone.
Well then.
He's back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I died for a little bit.
Are you okay? Did you get better?
Were you just waiting for me, or did you move on?
We're waiting for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really weird. On my end, my Discord has actually crashed. Like, I got the not responding message. Like, it's given me the option to close the program, and it's just a white screen, but for some reason my voice is still coming through.
Okay, yeah. So was that just everyone fucking up in Discord?
I am completely fine, so I don't know what's
Same
happening
here.
with you guys.
Okay, where was I talking when it cut out?
Yes, we're asking thoughts on the feedback polls? Should they happen then?
Yeah, well, I made the last one back in like July, August, and it was great. It got a lot. It got like 236 responses. That was good, and I did that because I don't know if it picked up this part, but the Discord is where all the devs hang out, and I just didn't want it to be like a circle jerk where our opinions were the only ones that mattered. You know, you kind of want to get it out to the public a little bit, see what they think, see if people like our characters. You know, because we have a like if you know the people and you have to collaborate with them, you might end up being a little nicer to them than you should be. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to doing one soon. Because you want to space them out so they're meaningful enough. But 6, 7, 8 months, that's a decent time for the roster to change, and it has changed a lot since that point. I just want to get Ryuko in the main game before that, and then I'll probably do it.
To be honest, I'd be okay with having them alongside every be a pretty decent time to have them.
When?
Alongside the resort polls, the popularity polls, I think
that's too frequent.
Yeah, they gotta have the criticism so that they can fix their characters for the popularity polls, or fix their characters for the popularity polls and then see what else needs to be done.
Like every 4 months.
Oh wait,
like,
one second.
So
remember how I just said I wish that I got weird role players in my bug reports? Am I not good enough? We just got one in the Rinka chat.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm finally good enough. I'm finally good enough to get players.
Get a pervert.
Congratulations.
That was me.
Oh. Was it really?
I don't know.
Huh.
You tell me.
I mean, it's like it's a game start. Really, she could be talking about anybody, or they could be talking about anybody.
Anyway, back to the topic at hand.
But yeah,
I wouldn't be. I guess yeah. I really enjoy the resorts. I'm really excited for the next one, and I get the feeling that it's going to be really, really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I mean, my own efforts at boosting popularity recently have just been making epilogues. I gave Ryuko an epilogue for both genders. Go try that out. I gave Mei a female epilogue. Been trying out the new pose engine or the new epilogue engine. Oh god, Pharos is dying.
No, this is what I saw earlier.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Well, anyway, yeah, and then I'm giving like Jura a female epilogue too, and that'll be coming out soon.
Yeah, I've been working on a bunch of epilogues too. Like we discussed earlier, I recently put out the Mahiru Chiaki one, and I have about 4 more dual epilogues in the works.
Wow.
I think people really underestimate how much more popular your character will be because of an epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
People tout like Mei and Jura as like being examples of popular obscure characters. It's like, well, it's because I gave them epilogues where you fuck them. That tends to get people to play them.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes things get a little overcomplicated, and it's nice to see a creator who just takes it back to the basics of this is a porn game. You watch them strip, and then you fuck them after.
Nah, man, I want that epilogue. I want to cap it all off.
When are we getting one where they strip in the woods?
Okay, like 2 people talked at once.
I was just making a joke. It's like, when are we going to see them stripping in the woods, though?
Feel like we've got enough of that.
This is why we'll never get a Coco epilogue.
A coffee date in the woods.
All right. Next question is, who is my second best character? Who is Spnanon's second best character?
That's a good question. I'll just go to the dev server, pull up the list of the characters you guys made.
All right. Why don't we have Cog answer while you do that then?
Good idea.
All right. Well, I think first I'll talk about Johan. I think his best character is, well, probably it's, I want to say Rinka is his best character. And then I'd probably put his second best character at probably Chiaki. Because the artwork on and dialogue is just really good for both of them. As for Spnanon, I'd put his best as Jura, and then his second best as Ryuko. Because I like the gimmicks with Ryuko, and I think she's really well done, but I am a bigger fan of Jura's personality and like presence, if that makes sense.
She's got big titties.
That too.
I mean, who doesn't love blondes with big tits?
It's true.
And that's why she's first page.
I'm trying to trick somebody.
I think you cut out again.
Yeah, you cut out, man.
I'm trying to trick somebody into writing one of those. Big tit blonde.
Oh, yeah. I think I got my answer. I think Spnanon's best character is probably Jura, of course. We already went over why she's great. I think his second best is probably, I don't know, Maya's really technically impressive, but Revi is also just really great. I love her characterization in the game. Really wants me to really makes me want to read Black Lagoon again. As for Johan, I think Amalia is probably like the most technically impressive thing you got going on there. You got a good base going there, and then Mouse kind of went in there and did his thing. But I'd like to think that your second best character is Rinka. She's got good art, she's gotten good epilogues, she's got good lines. She's just really solid all around, and I can't wait until your new update of her.
All right. What about you, Span?
I think I like Chiaki the best out of all your characters. She's the cutest, at least. You know, who doesn't want to play Vidya with a cute gamer girl? As for second best, I don't know. You got a lot of characters that are kind of like generally around the same like good to great like level, like Mahiru and Rinka and Kamina. They're all like really good. Chiaki just probably like my personal favorite. I see Chiaki as like a great example of kind of like weird crossovers because of her interacting with Maya and like getting all excited about teaching her about video games.
Yeah.
Like, where else would you see anything like that?
More stuff to that.
So I love that little exchange. I don't know. I like Mahiru. I like Rinka. Kamina, I mean, quality male character. Take that for what it's worth. There's Amalia, but I kind of see Amalia as Mouse's character.
Same.
You still got credit, and that's what counts.
Just far and away the most popular character.
I think that...
At least according to the resort. I don't know about play statistics.
I think that my favorite one of...
It's probably like the Rubies or like the Dokis or something like that.
Oh, probably.
I think my favorite one of your Spnanon is probably Ryuko. I just love how...
Well, you know who Ryuko is.
You've captured what makes Kill la Kill such a fun show. in her character with Mako and Senketsu's transformations and the scissor blade. You've really done a fucking superb job at nailing just how fun and also how kind of stupid the series is in how over the top it is. And it's just, like, it puts a smile on my face every time as for your second best character, I think that I'd probably have to give it to Maya just because of how much she has to offer. And also, blue hair is objectively superior to blonde, and May is cute. I'd want to head pat her, despite the fact that she's probably able to throw me.
I thought you were going to say despite the fact that she's obviously grilled.
What?
What?
I thought you were going to say despite the fact that she's obviously grilled.
Maya?
Yeah, the easy steamed ham reference.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Okay. No. Why would I make a steamed hams reference?
I'm sorry, my brain doesn't work right.
Anyway.
You kept cutting out for me. I didn't even hear it.
Oh.
Don't worry about
Well,
it.
he was saying despite the fact that she's obviously best girl.
No, despite the fact that she could obviously throw me like a rock.
Oh, right. Jeez.
Anyway.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Next question is, do OCs have a place in Spnaati?
Yes, if they're willing to put in the work for them and make sure that they have something to prove to the other characters. Kind of explore their backstory, show what they're all about. They gotta show out. They gotta not only show what they're about, but like interact with the other characters. Because I think there's, it's like, I don't know. It's like making a character from a show that literally only you have watched. And I think some of us here can really relate to that. Just think of, for example, all the work that you had to put into Maya. I think that for someone to make an OC who's popular, they need to put in a similar amount of effort.
Well, one of the most encouraging things for like making Maya and Jura was seeing kind of other Vandred fans kind of crawl out of the woodwork or watch the show because of them. So that was definitely it's definitely a great feeling as a creator. So with an OC, you wouldn't even really have that unless you have something published that you can share, which you might, but I don't think you'll ever fully escape the stigma of original characters. But you can definitely make something that's quality and fun to interact with. I don't know if they'll ever be super popular, but you could definitely make a quality addition to the game if your character is interesting. It's really hard because it's such a limited context to like introduce themselves. So you really have to be a skilled writer to pull it off, I think.
God.
Well, I'm not going to mince words in that, well, half the fun of the Poker Night games, both Spnaati and proper Poker Night by Telltale, is you come to see characters you know and love interact with each other and do things they normally wouldn't. And I think OCs can fit under the system, but like Ferris said, it's an uphill battle, and it's really not so different from characters who are obscure, but it's still a lot harder to escape the stigma of being an OC. And I think anyone who can...
I think it's... You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
I think anyone who can pull off well is deserving of praise, but it's really hard to pull it off. But since you're making the character, it is easy to probably establish what they're like, but it's still an uphill battle because not many people are willing to put in the effort to even play with OCs. So if you can do it, props to you.
Yeah, I think it's an even harder sell than obscure characters because, well, again, there's the stigma of it being an original character, but there's also, I mean, even if the character is obscure, it still says their source right there. You're like, Vandred, what's that? I'll Google that. Oh, okay, it's a show. I guess I could watch it if I want it. Or Legend of Dark Witch, what's that? Oh, it's a game. It has other things that I can see about it. But with original characters, you don't really have that.
I think that OCs can be fine because what is a character but somebody else's OC? It's definitely an uphill battle, but like I think Joey is probably one of my favorite Spnaati characters. And I think that I've seen some OCs, in particular, like Dora has Chizuru, and I think that she's really cute. I'd like to see her in the game. I don't think it's the draw, though. I think if you want to make them, go ahead. More power to you. It'll be a lot more work than it'll be to make a canon character, but honestly, if it's who you want to make, then go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, don't be discouraged. It's just really hard. I guess that's kind of contradictory, but just be prepared to put a lot of work in.
All right. Next question is: all of the characters currently on the online roster to fight with whatever they have at the start of the game. Who would win? Characters like Monica and Pinky are not allowed to use their fourth wall breaking powers.
Okay, well, I think we've had this question before, and it's just whoever the god level is.
Yeah.
Or like Palutena, or like Zizo, or I don't know which of the gods is the highest power level.
Johan literally made a power tier list the other day that.
This is why. This question is why I made it.
Can you like pull it up in the chat here?
I can. Okay, just let me open it up.
And then we can see which of the top tier characters we think is going to win.
There's a lot of characters on there that I don't really know how strong they are. So
yeah.
Okay.
I'm a total like JoJo lit. I don't know. I don't know. Why are they god level?
Omae Womo Shindaru.
Can't you just like shoot them?
You can try, but Jotaro has Star Platinum, and that acts on instinct, and it will catch a bullet. Like he tries to shoot himself in the first episode, and Star Platinum comes out and catches the bullet.
What if you shot 2 bullets?
Probably catch the second bullet too.
Whoa.
Well, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, what?
So
Star Platinum can stop time!
Why is Captain Falcon in god level?
Because he literally he creates like a supernova with the Falcon punch.
Okay, Videl is definitely not above superhuman.
Well,
okay, Ryuko would fucking trash Videl. I don't know where you're getting Videl is so strong.
Videl is a regular superhuman. That's literally what she is.
I'm not sure why Rink is above Lin.
She can punch through a bus maybe.
Lin is a legendary sword.
Yes, but she's also just a girl with a sword.
Rink is just
fire control.
She just makes a fire effect when she attacks. Her attacks are just as good as anyone else's.
Marceline god level.
Because she's an immortal vampire demon thing.
She can
that doesn't mean that you can't. Well, can't you just like?
She can drink the color red.
Can't you just like fight her during the day?
I think that she comes out in the day and she's perfectly fine in the adventure.
That's why she has that straw hat. If she didn't have that straw hat, she would die.
Hermione.
She's like
Hermione
literally the daughter of the devil.
I'm pretty sure like
she can't like use a few times that, like, or whatever.
Man with a gun beats a wizard.
Yeah, like wizards can't use killing spells because they're banished.
I mean, a gun is just a better, faster Avada Kedavra.
But anyway, I feel like the strongest 2 characters would be Ramelia and Kamina. Milia's power is to control fate and reality. And Kamina,
Makes his own fate.
is that he makes his own fate
So
and makes the
is
impossible
Vermilion really that
possible.
much stronger than Miko? Why do you have Miko so low?
Because I didn't know her power when I made the list. But apparently she alters fate. Like, that's... I don't know how you beat that besides having your power to fight against...
Okay, why is Kamina god level? Isn't he just a guy with a sword?
No, his thing is that he literally makes impossible things possible. And at the end of Gurren Lagann, the movie, his spirit is so manly that he becomes a mech several times larger than the known universe.
Oh, I thought they just piloted mechs.
No, his spirit becomes a mech.
Well, I mean, if it's a spirit, then he's already dead, so you won.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
I mean, he's right.
But the thing about Kamina is that it's basically implied that he could come back if he wanted to.
Well,
he
then
comes
he
back from the dead once before.
So you're saying is once you kill him, he stays dead forever, and you're just fine.
No, because people have killed... Like, he's died once before and he came back.
Yeah, and if he dies, that's the end of the match.
It's not, because he could come
Yeah, it
back
is.
if he wanted.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to.
You have like the Street Fighters as like stronger than the average human, but again, couldn't you just shoot them?
Yeah, but they could beat up
See,
a regular
Viper's-
human.
See, Viper shoots them and they're okay, though.
Chun-Li's an
fucking
international
bullshit.
police officer.
It does become is gameplay canon. Like, Chun-Li in-game, if see Viper, can shrug off a bullet. But if it's a cutscene, she'd probably be...
fucking video game characters are just bullshit in general because they
Captain
can take way
Falcon.
too much abuse.
Captain Falcon has a gun. He used it once.
They can just fucking get shot 20 times and just eat a pork chop and they're good.
You don't keep a pork chop in your pocket in case you get shot?
No.
You keep it in
Anyway.
walls.
Yeah,
Nehru can like go. I don't know why she's god level. That doesn't mean she can fucking drop your ass. That just means she can go back in
control
time
time.
before she got.
She's literally
That just
named
means
after
she
a
can go back
goddess.
before beat her up.
She could kill your baby. Like you as a baby.
Well, that's not fair.
Anybody,
Yeah, well, it's a superpower.
anyone
Well,
with time powers
it's me
is a
versus Nehru,
yes
not
here.
me as a baby versus Nehru. It's not. It's these characters when they walked in the game, not these characters as babies.
Yeah, so she walks in the game, goes back in time, gets you as a baby, puts you as a baby in the inventory, then kills you.
What about the characters that were never babies?
Like who? Like Pitt? I guess.
I don't know.
Or like-
Mettaton was a ghost before he was a robot.
yeah.
Wait, why are Jotaro and Kira god level and then Jolene is just superhuman?
Because Jotaro and Kira can control time. And all Jolene can do is make string. Jolene loses the fight against Ellen.
So she
guess-
just got like the shit end of the superpower genetics.
Pretty much.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
What kind of horse shit is that?
yeah, actually, yes, because of the stands in the main universe, there's Jotaro who can stop time. There's Josuke, who's crazy diamond, can revert anything back to its previous form. And there's Giorno, who not even he understands just how busted his powers are, but he can trap you in an infinite death loop.
This JoJo shit is just broken.
That's not even
Broken
getting
is
to
all.
Tusk, which it can fire a finger and spin you into forever. And he does that to the President of the United States after gathering the corpse of Jesus Christ. It's the best!
I still think Nehru would win it.
Anyway,
I don't know. The only issue I take with this is what the fuck is Videl doing above Ryuko?
I
Vidal's
guess I
ass-
overestimated how strong Dragon Ball Z characters are.
Well, yeah, most of them are really strong. Videl is not.
She's Hercule's daughter.
She can fly.
Yeah.
So I assumed
Ryuko can
that she
fly.
was at least like start of Dragon Ball Z Krillin tier.
What?
Could Videl I think Videl could take Nappa.
No, she fucking couldn't.
No, Nappa was he was super strong.
Videl is on the level of like Goku at the beginning of Dragon Ball. Maybe lower than that. She couldn't beat anybody. She
She's a
couldn't beat
Saiyan.
Spopovich. Now she's gonna take on fucking Nappa.
Yeah, Nappa's a Saiyan. That's like insane.
Yeah, Spopovich
You know how
has
strong Nappa is?
power boost.
Dude, Nappa is fucking
Videl
incredible.
can't cause a fucking earthquake by powering up.
Nappa would have been like super strong if he'd like lived until later.
Well, yeah,
Just because Goku trashed Nappa doesn't mean Nappa is trash.
Vegeta
Goku.
finished him off because Vegeta was like, "Ah, fuck you, Nappa."
I don't think any of the humans ever got stronger than like the Ginyu Force, with the exception of like Tien has to kill himself just to hold down Cell.
But the fact that he was able to do that is pretty cool.
I mean, really, you don't see them do anything that's that impressive.
I think at the start of Super, powered up Krillin took like a Goku that hadn't trained in a while in a fight and like still lost.
Well, in Super, just none of it makes sense anymore. Just I don't know.
I just remember that
becomes-
clip where
Super Saiyan Blue is the standard jobber form. Well, anyway, that took longer than it should have.
yeah,
What's our answer?
Nehru.
Yeah, can Nehru go back in time and kill Jotaro as a baby? Because that stand is fucking bullshit.
Jotaro can stop
I'm
time.
rooting for Nehru.
Going back in
Jotaro
time
can
isn't
stop
a
the
bullet,
time
so she
Nehru
wins.
was moving in.
No, but she can go back in time before he stops time.
I'm just gonna say Remy and be done with
I'm
it.
rooting for Nehru because she seems like bullshit I can get behind.
No,
Fuck these other characters that are just
it's
overpowered as
literally
hell.
just children on the playground going, but I'm immune to that.
Girls
Oh
are
my
just
God.
like humans with weapons, and it pisses me off when you can't just beat a character by shooting them because that's how it works in real life. Just fucking, I have a gun, I win.
Okay,
Horse shit.
next question is, what characters have you taken inspiration from in developing your own? I guess, Cog, you should start since Ferris doesn't have anything.
Well, when I was first making Mia, I took some inspirations from a couple of unlikely sources. I based her early dialogue off of Kyoko and, ironically enough, Miss Pauling. So, I don't think you'd really see that now. And it's especially ironic now since I'm going to be redoing Kyoko in a few months, but I still think it's pretty funny how far Mia's coming from someone based off Miss Pauling, of all characters.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly.
Hey man, Miss Pauling's still in the game, right?
Yeah, you have to ask yourself that, don't you?
She's hanging on by a thread. Soon Dranky's legacy is about to be like completely crushed. Miss
I thought
Pauling's
she
gonna
was
die,
Moon.
Falcon's gonna die, Metaton's gonna die. All that's left is gonna be Moon and Misty.
I thought she was out of the game like months ago.
Anyway,
It'll be the end of an era. Pretty soon,
Sam,
only
do you
one
have
member of
any
the Extreme
characters?
Conditionist update is gonna be left. And
do you have
she's
any
gonna be
characters
reworked.
you learned from?
What was
Me?
that?
Span, do you have any characters that you learned from?
Well, I learned from Revi's earlier writing, for one thing. that definitely made it a lot easier to pick her up. Other than that, I took a little bit of inspiration from the classic Ryuko that got deleted. I thought she had a pretty interesting point about how she's like literally seen hundreds of penises. But not in the way you think. In general, for like Ryuko's posing and like having like Mako and Senketsu kind of interject, I took a lot of inspiration from like Miko doing that with her wife Tojiko, and just seeing them interact. I think I mentioned that on the last podcast, but them kind of like sort of keeping the other in check was pretty funny, and something I really liked. So I did that with Mako. Other than that, Maya and Jura, well, I could definitely rewatch NTRed and take inspiration from the source. That would help, because it's been a while. But that's the big case of me taking inspiration, I think. So more of an art thing.
I remember that when I was making Chiaki, I took a lot of inspirations from Kyoko, from Diva, from Mia, and from the girl from Sword Art Online, whose name I cannot remember.
Asuna.
Her, yeah.
The one with 2 years of semen.
Made a splooshing noise.
As it
It flowed
plopped into her.
endlessly. I don't think that there were a lot of characters. There's certainly no one I thought of when I was writing Kamina. Hanako is a character that I definitely took a lot of inspiration from, like advice of having your character go on about themselves when minor clothing is being revealed. I played a lot of games with Nagi. So yeah, it really depends on the character I'm writing it with. Alright. Last question is, what is better, a franchise's main character, and that's it, or a bunch of side characters, but no main character?
Okay, so this
Is this
question...
like inspired by Ace Attorney?
I get the feeling no, it's not. It's inspired by Little Witch Academia, and I'm pretty sure this is NMAS who wrote it, because we've got Lotte, and we're getting Croy and Amanda. Still no Akko.
I think it really
she
depends.
got lost on the way to the inventory. She's not very smart.
She is not. That is true.
Do those side characters have enough to set them apart from the rest of the cast? Like, that's the big thing here. Because I really don't care if it's like from a series that I've seen, from one that I've not seen. It really, like if it's one character and they really set themselves up, like they really show off in front of the other cast members, that's good. Like, you don't need to have inter-franchise interactions to have an amazing character. But, like, in the same vein, all those side characters could be awesome, because a lot of main characters are just self-insert, fuel, whatever, or just, like, poorly characterized. So, honestly, you could give or take, like, either one of these would be fine. It really depends on a lot of factors.
I mean, how often is the main character a girl anyway?
Okay, but let's ask if it's for things where the main character is not a girl. What if it's the main female lead? Like, Maya is not the main female lead in NTRed.
She basically is.
No.
She gets the... You haven't even fucking seen it.
I don't have to know the truth to know that Vita, the redhead, is the main female lead.
Oh,
She's the main love interest, Maya probably gets the most episodes devoted to her development. She gets the most development probably out of any of them. She has like the most going on. I don't know. That just go. I mean, she would definitely. I think she would definitely be if you got all the Vandred fans together, all 12 of us. It would probably agree that like Maya would be like the most obvious representative. That or Jura, put her into.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. Yeah, I think a lot of shows definitely fall into the issue of the main character is the least interesting character. I think people have that complaint about Ruby.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Where the main character just has the least going on. So you could definitely make an argument that side characters would be better, as long as they're interesting.
What are your thoughts, Cog?
They basically covered everything I wanted to say. Like, it really all depends on the series. Like, it really just depends on if the character in question is good or not. It doesn't matter if they're a main or side character. What matters is whether or not they're fully developed. And that kind of the whole basis of the question is whether they have enough personality going on for them to make them worth turning into a character.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'm guilty of making female leads. Maya and Jura are essentially that. Oh,
Revi.
Dita might be a little more so than Jura, and then Revi is obviously the poster girl for Black Lagoon, and Ryuko's the main character of Kill la Kill. So I guess I'm not one to talk in this case.
I tend to make more side characters. The only real main characters I made have been the Kid-Icarus duo, but overall I tend to make secondary characters more frequently.
I think that if the question is that you can only have the main character or you could have any amount of side characters, I'd take the side characters because like in franchise banter is one of my favorite things about Spnaati, so that's my answer to that.
As long as we see like more franchise representation and new franchise representation, I think that's always something that a character definitely brings. So if you're not like totally like convinced that you have like the most amazing writing or art skills or whatever, just representing a new franchise and seeing and bringing a lot of people's favorite character to the game is definitely an advantage all to itself. Rather than just making another character in like a franchise that you have to like measure up to all the other ones. I think you can bring something unique right there just by having a new franchise.
Alrighty. You guys have anything else to say?
Are we still talking about our future projects, or is that not a thing anymore?
Oh wait! Oh fuck! I forgot about. You're not joking. Oh yeah! Oops, my bad. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I completely forgot about. Yeah. Pharaohs, you got your.
Can you believe this guy's the host?
No.
I think we need a coup.
Pharaohs, you've got your April Fool's thing. Do you want to share anything about that?
I don't know. Bagel made a really good model. I'm seeing some really good poses. I'm gonna have to go over a little bit of source material to do it, but I'm gonna put my best foot forward, and I'm gonna try to make this April Fool's character an actual fun character to play against.
So you're gonna actually have an accredited character now.
Gonna have a purple name.
It's gonna be over a complete joke, just like me. You know, I think after going like 2 years in this community, being active in this community, and not having a character, I think I need to establish how much of a joke I am.
Hey man, you're great to have around all the same.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, thanks.
Feroz, if there's anyone that, like, feels like they should have a purple name that doesn't, it's you.
Well, hey, just let me get on like the podcast for like 10 more times, and then just give me the contributor role for just
Get
being
the
here
pod
all the
people
time.
roll.
Yeah, fuck. Just get me on a 4th time.
Yeah. Is this character cursed on the level of like Kool-Aid Man?
No. This character is actually to the point where it might have some sex appeal. I think it's gonna be.
Warriors character, ain't it?
Huh?
It's a Dynasty Warriors
No,
character, ain't
it's not.
it?
It's from
is it
something else than Bagel and I both share a love for.
Digimon?
No.
Then
You'll
I've
just
got
have-
nothing.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to wait because none of you guys are gonna expect this one. Just wait for April Fool's Day and find out.
Well, this will be interesting.
In D4, it's
I know
another Kamina, and it's even better.
You know what's fucking bullshit?
What?
I have all my characters comment to El Shaggy Blanco that stopped being funny in 2017, and now there's Shaggy memes again.
He lives, he dies, he lives again!
How many of these fucking Zoomers don't even know that Shaggy memes come from Dragon Ball Super, where he's fighting El Hermano?
Okay,
Do they
Cog.
know the lore of Shaggy Rojo and Shaggy Verde?
Actually, I've seen a crap ton of videos where people are like, "Why is Shaggy a meme?" And then they're showing like the Dragon Ball shit with and then the Ultra Instinct Shaggy in that one episode of Scooby Doo.
Right.
Okay, so Cog, what about you?
So my current focus right now is to do the 4 dual epilogues I mentioned earlier in this podcast. Then after that, my main focus is going to be on 2 Fire Emblem characters, Varshel from Sacred Stones and Setsuna from Fire Emblem Fates. Then after that, I'm going to do Satsuki from Kill la Kill, and then a possible Kyoko
Nice.
revival from Danganronpa.
So that she can stop weighing down my girls.
It's also my girl.
Huh?
I was just saying that Mahiru's also my girl, you know.
Well, I said our girls.
I heard my girls in your case.
Nah, man. Mahiru's
You know what
all,
Kyoko
pretty much
really
all
needs?
you. Like, you're the one who made her
Kyoko
shine.
needs a butt pose.
I'll give her one, don't worry.
Well, when you do,
Apparently, she has a pretty fat ass.
That is
That's what I like to
correct.
see.
yeah, she does actually. I remember that.
Span, what about you?
Well, I already talked about how I recently kind of got used to the new epilogue engine. Definitely has its perks. Definitely makes things a lot more cinematic. So Ryuko got an epilogue for both genders. Maya got a female epilogue. Working on one for Jura. And I'm probably just going to adapt all my other epilogues to at least be in the new engine, so they take up less space, and then maybe I'll add to them if there's any room for that. But then I'll just be working on Ryuko's dialogue, get her in the main game, do a feedback poll, and then just play target and catch up, do some maintenance work on my 4 girls, see where we go from there.
I've started making all of the models for the entire cast of Danganronpa V3, and at least 3 of them are going to see some use. I'm hoping that for a 4th. I don't know how much I'm actually going to be contributing, if I'm just going to be doing models for some of them, or if I'm going to be helping with posing. That's all I've got on that. My work in progress has stayed the same. Gonna be working on Hanako, and hopefully, one of the projects I've been working on for a while now will be seeing the light of day pretty soon.
Well, that's exciting.
Not gonna say
It's
which
also
one.
ominous.
Not gonna say which one, but
How really soon are we talking? Like next podcast episode, or like?
Maybe.
Uh,
Maybe.
So
Literally
like,
right now.
So like soon
That's the-
TM.
Yeah, it's soon trademark. It's I do have a bit of it is outside of my control. I'm waiting for a little bit of from a certain someone to get back to me. But I think that it's going to be a character that people enjoy.
Am I gonna have to get bar soap ready?
I'm not going to confirm or deny anything. It could be Akko. It could be Sandy. It could be Jetstream Sam. It could be Raiko from fucking Broken Beyond Despair. There's so many characters it could be.
Now I kind of don't want to guess that it's any of those.
Boop, 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 boop. That's all I've got to say for now. So, you guys have anything else to say?
Jura female epilogue. Look forward to it. Lesbian threesome action in space
Go
and
play
relationship
Lot.
troubles.
Go play Lot. She has freckles on her tits now.
It will upload coming
That
soon.
doesn't really sell me on it.
Hey,
Oh, that reminds me. Somebody messaged me a character just a couple hours before the podcast started. Their generics are mostly done. They just need targeting. And they are a completely new niche that has yet to be touched.
Yeah, I got them too.
Oh, you did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we vague comments about that, huh?
Yeah.
So look forward to another character beyond my ominous character, and then there's Mavis, and then more. Until then, thank you guys for being on this episode.
No problem. It's a pretty long one.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice
Thanks
to be
for
here.
having me.
And thank you guys for listening. Signing out.